Hello दोस्तों, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today tutorial is era of war is over. India did well to caution Vladimir Putin over the Ukraine war. Compared to its relatively low key past the summit of Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO) Council of Head of State in Samarkand took place in crosshairs of international attention apart from the SCO new agreement on regional engage- engagement discussion among the eight members, including four Central Asian countries Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, focused on conducting Iran as a member of broadcasting the SCO dialogues partner to West and South Asia and on trending terrorism and to quote counter-terrorism in the relation. However, more focus was on to the bilateral meeting on to sideline as this was the first such a major conference that Russia President Vladimir Putin attended since the Ukraine war, as well as part of first visit abroad by China President Xi Jinping since the COVID-19 pandemic and Taiwan tension. President Narendra Modi attention was equally meaningful given that it was the first time he met Mr. Putin since the war and Mr. Xi since the standoff at the LSE in 2020. This was also the first time he came face to face with Pakistan Prime Minister Sheikh Shehbaz Sharif, and speculation was rife that he he would hold meeting with India adversary. While the meeting with Mr. Sharif or Mr. Xi Jinping did not ma- mater- materialize. Western capital focused on his Putin meeting. Mr. Modi opening comment to Mr. Putin that the era of war was ended had been read as a admonition admonition of Russia war in Ukraine. However, it would be wrong to read Mr. Modi engagement with Mr. Putin as any kind of public shaming, but rather an expression of concern over war, something that Mr. Putin said he understand. A day before, Mr. Putin had also said to Mr. Xi Jinping that he understood China's concern, indicating Russia's realization of the need, effect, and ceasefire and dialogues. India now come into performance as China of the SCO and is making preparation for next year SCO summit ahead of G20 summit in New Delhi. India summit ahead of G20 summit in New Delhi. India need to ensure the participation of all SCO members, including China and Pakistan, despite to the tension which will entail something diplomatic elbow graces by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar in next few months. Beginning this week at the UN General Assembly, India pitched to SCO for connectivity with the Eurasian region hinges on its development of Chahar port, though the Iran favoring US section while still competing with China. Pakistan-backed transit route thought Gwadar on tension. India will have India has ensured that SU work the task on building a new concern and list of the terrorist group and area where it was frequently thwarted by China. Meanwhile, New Delhi will also have to balance its ties, keeping Western partners into the Quad and other groupings, especially as the polarization between US-EU condition and Russia-China led combined con- continues to grow. Crisis in Caucasus. Armenia and Azerbaijan must work out a lasting ceasefire. The violent border clash between Armenia and Azerbaijan have raised fears of another war in the Caucasus. Caucasus. The country had fought a disastrous week-long war in 2020 over the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region. Nagorno- Nagorno-Karabakh region in which Azerbaijan met gains before Russia focused a ceasefire. Tension remained with occasional fire-ups, but Tuesday clashes were the deadliest since 2020. Armenia and Azerbaijan have accused each other of provocation, but the fighting, as per initial report, took place on Armenian side, and Armenia took a heavier casual- casualties. It it may not be coincidence coincidence that the crisis before out at a time when Russia Armenia security ally. But fighting as per initial report took a place Armenia side and Armenia took a heavier casual casualties. It may not be coincidence that the crisis broke out at a time when Russia-Armenia security allies has been struggling to hold its gain in Ukraine. Armenia is a member of the Russia-led Collective Security Treaty Organization, whose NATO-like character stipulates that an attack against one member could be treated as an attack against all. Armenia had turned to Russia for help, but Moscow's response was rather cautious. It called for a de-escalation and claimed that it broke another ceasefire. The dispute over Nagorno-Karabakh goes back to the pre-Soviet era when the Soviet Union was formed. The Armenian majority in claim became a part of Az- Azer- Azerbaijan Soviet Republic. When the Soviet Union collapsed and Armenia and Azerbaijan became independent republic, the clash resur- res- resurfaced. The clash resurfaced. Armenia rebels in Nagorno-Karabakh fought up to the Azeri force to join Armenia, but Azerbaijan never gave up its claim, nor did the two countries reach any peace agreement over enclave. Unlike in 1919, Azerbaijan now look economically and politically stronger. In the 2020 conflict, it not military and diplomatic assistance from Turkey, while Russia was reluctant to get dragged into the conflict on behalf of Armenia. Now Russia is ability to project power in its neighborhood. NEIGHBOUR neighborhood appeared to former limit on account of Ukraine. On the other side, gas-rich Azerbaijan, which will the backing of the Turkey is being quoted by the European Union for increasing gas supply. This region development seem have emboldened Azerbaijan, but its invasion could costly for everyone. Russia will find it difficult to retain its influence in China, Asia, and Caucasus if continue to ignore Armenia at the same time getting dragged into another battlefront would be challenging. A conflict in the Caucasus would further destabilize the gold entry market, hunting all economic, particularly energy-starved Europe, for the Turkey, which is trying to balance between Russia and the Western war Ukraine, another war in its neighborhood. Take a further complicate its foreign policy choice. The last thing the world needs now is another war, so all sides should enforce a lasting ceasefire between Armenia and Azerbaijan and ensure incline to trouble mountains of Nagorno-Karabakh. Thank you. Geoeconomics, geopolitics, without geoeconomic, a foolish errand. Okay, let's start it. It's written by Happy Major Ja- Jacob. Okay, over the past few years, New Delhi has developed a keen desire to be part of geopolitical developments in the Indo-Pacific and has gone about it with a great aplomb. It was managed to emerge as a major pivot of the global Indo-Pacific Grand Strategic Imagination. Avoid the temptation of military security, the Quad, Australia, Japan, India, and United States, and has ensured that the Association of South Asian Nations (ASEAN) states do to do feel easily by to the every increasing balance of the power and influence to the Indo-Pacific. What New Delhi is missing, okay? And yet New Delhi vision for Indo-Pacific appears half back and unsustainable in long term. give the inadequate attention New Delhi is prepared to give geo-economic development of Indo-Pacific. Policymakers in New Delhi today do not appear to appreciate inescapable linkage between geopolitics and geoeconomics. Put differently, even as a contemporary great power behavior has removed beyond the classical geopolitical imaginary, thereby emphasizes geoeconomics as a foundation of geopolitics. New Delhi country to be stuck in old binaries. India declared to take to the Indo-Pacific and Quad in a big way while unwilling to join two region key and multilateral trade agreement goals. Multilateral trade agreement goes to show that geo-economic and geopolitics are imagined and pursued parallelly in New Delhi, not as a complementing each other. The most recent example in is India's refusal to join the trade pillar of Indo-Pacific Economic Framework (IPEF), while descending to the joining three other pillars in IPF: supply chain, tax, and anti-corruption. And clean energy. India moved to stay out IPEF, a US sponsored soft trade arrangement at the best comes 2 years after India walked out of negotiation on relation comprehensive economic partnership with which come to effect earlier this year. Both the arrangementally at the heart of both Pacific and could potentially shape the economic character of the broader Indo-Pacific region. India's decision to stay out of the IPEF was surprising because it seemed out of the cynic with to the recent enthusiasm in the New Delhi about foreign trade agreement when the Narendra Modi government took office in 2014 immediately began reviewing existing trade agreement and pursued um, any new free trade negotiation, a policy that continued for a close to the 7 year Modi 1.4 so far as an unambiguous lack of policy interested in promoting external trade and engaging in a free trade negotiation. And and then all sudden in the wake of the COVID-19, New Delhi began ex- exhibiting new enthusiasm to rethink the country's external trade policy. Modi 2.0 standard warming started warming up to the free trade agreement FTA. Yes, for instance, India concluded a FTA with the United Arab Emirates earlier this year, signed earlier harvest agreement which Australia not and the United Kingdom and several more agreements are being to the negotiated. However, the recent decision to stay out of the IPEF showed a clear policy direction in New Delhi by not becoming the part of IPEC and to the receive and sign FTA with individual state. New India has made it clear that the favor bilateral agreement and not to in a multilateral plurilateral and even a soft agreement such as IPEF, a regressive step China factor. There are several reasons why New Delhi decision to stay out of various regional trading agreement regressive policy decision for one of absence of the world fifth largest economy for the various regional trading platform will be invariable boost China geo-economic or hemo, hegemony money in Asia. Given to the growing fear of the India about the negative impression of the China India trade, it is important to have a nuanced view of the year. For one, the fear of India with China dominant, dominating the Indian market is not entire by unreasonably to become a pri- prices. There is a fear in India that the deeper Sino-India economic partnership should be weaponized by using for geopolitical purpose and aid to the only valuable option to deal with such a challenge is to be prepared for and to face a challenge even if the means including code in the short term of eventually overcome to the challenges. The earlier is that despite to the military stand-off of the line of actual control, India-China trade has also been increasing in the past year. Therefore, it was not possible for India to avoid trading with China. It is better for India to deal with this issue sooner rather than later and to the comprehensive manner. Perhaps this is also the opportunity time to do. There is an attempt, however, to be feeble by countries such as the US to economic stable, but China to create far without China on board, the IPF being one of the such example. In other words, India must not only shy away but from the trading with China as a part of the multilateral agreement while at the same time joining to the agreement which is having Chinese presence. The second reason why staying out of the AIF has been Tata to cost far to the India. It would be hard to the integrate itself into the regional and to the global supply chain without being a part of the important regional multi-national trading agreement. The third one has no opinion but to address some of the despair, despair legal.